Hello everyone, and on this tag team point of view that I do with my friend Edward2962, I imagine his will be coming up a day or so after mine, I hope. I want to talk about the twin troubles of commercialization in comics, as well as the oversaturation of a number of characters in comics. You look at Spider-Man through the years, and he's had anywhere from 3 to 5 titles, and that's not even including the teams that he's been on. I think now you have Spider-Man, you have the soon-to-be Fantastic Four that has Spider-Man on it. You have an Avengers team with Spider-Man on it, and at any given time you'll have a number of miniseries with Spider-Man in them. Wolverine, you have Wolverine on the Avengers. You have Wolverine on X-Force, on the soon-to-be Wolverine and the X-Men. X-Force, I think that might be out now. But Wolverine in his own title, Wolverine and Jubilee, so on and so forth. And, same for DC. Batman's in a bunch of titles. Superman is in a few. And so on and so forth there. As well as Green Lantern. And the companies, it would appear, when something is successful, they're going to milk it for all it's worth. And if milking these comics, if milking these franchises were actually cows, there'd be some bleeding udders right about now. A kid would come in and basically see, ooh, strawberry milk. It's like, no, that's blood and milk, because they wouldn't stop milking it. My apologies, however, if anyone's eating right now. But Marvel and DC, it does seem like with them, nothing succeeds like excess. And when success becomes excessive, we tend to get all this oversaturation that you kind of wonder who is all this stuff being marketed toward. Because they wouldn't do it unless there was somebody out there willing to buy it. Which brings me into the commercialization. At the end of the day, it's not called comic book art. Comic book art is what goes into comics, but it's called the comic book business. And as a business, Marvel, DC, and pretty much anyone else, they're not into the business they're in to lose money. You talk about, say, you go down memory lane and you bring up the foil covers. Now, a lot of people will tell you that was a dark day in comics, that those foil covers were god-awful, and that, they never should have been used to begin with. In my estimation, there was never anything wrong with the foil covers. What was wrong was the execution of the comics inside. It's kind of like putting a nice ribbon over a mound of dog crap and serving it up as a present. Oh, you may make it look nice, but it's still dog crap. You know. So the problem is never the foil covers. The foil covers in and of themselves could be pretty sharp, but you needed good, concise, clear execution of what was going on between the covers. You know, if you were to put out a Dale Keown or a Gary Frank drawn issue of the Hulk, and you have the foil cover, there's really no issue there. You're putting out something that you know is going to capture the audience's eye, and then they open the page, they open the book, and lo and behold, there's some nice art with preferably a nice story attached to it as well. So you've taken a character who's a fairly high-profile character and have even raised his notoriety. Probably is not the word I'm looking for, but you've for want of a better term, you've raised the public consciousness as to not only is this a good book, but it's also a clever looking book to look at just on the cover alone. And then the bonus in and of itself is the cover. The real prize is the contents within the book. But you end up having some people that will say to you, just put out a good story. You know, like that in and of itself is enough. You talk to a lot of folks who are into comics and ask them if just putting out a good story in and of itself is good enough. Captain Britain and M13 or M16, whatever that number was, ask them about that. A lot of people will tell you that was a quality story. It was a quality book. It had quality art in it. Did not make it 20 issues. Ask people about the Agents of Atlas, another book put out by Marvel. The issue that I bought, the art was beautiful. But I bought into the commercialization as well. I only picked it up because the Avengers was in it. But that series itself did not, I believe, make it past 20 issues. If it did, just barely. And even the Great 10 that was put out by DC, a Chinese super team, which I believe was meant to be a 10-part maxi series, ended up being a 9-part maxi series because it was selling so poorly. DC did not want to put any more money into it than they had to, and that 9th issue was not a double issue. So simply saying, you know, just do a good book as if, you know, we were living our lives within the bubble of the Field of Dreams movie, where the tagline is build it, they will come, really doesn't work, you know. And then, you know, going back to what I was saying about success and excess, you get all these characters who, if they acquire an amount of success, they get bled dry. That's your Superman, your Batman, your Wolverine, your Green Lantern. I'm sure it's one or two of them, maybe even Punisher a little bit. Because the companies are going to try to squeeze the customer for every little bit that they can. I'm actually surprised there's not 10 Batman books out there. You got Batman, Batman and Robin. Batman's on the Justice League International. He's on your regular Justice League title. Batman Dark Knight. Batman Incorporated is going to be kickstarted again soon. And then, of course, the characters that wear the mantle of the Batwing, Batwoman, Batgirl. I don't know if you can count Birds of Prey right now. Although, you could definitely count them when Barbara Gordon was Oracle and she was there. That would have been a tie. And even All-Star Western. All-Star Western featuring Jonah Hex takes place in Old Gotham. So that's still another connection to Batman. And I mean, it's like these few characters have a stranglehold on the mainstream comic industry. Now, the only way that hold is going to weaken is by a concerted effort by comics fans in large, where they step outside of their comfort zone and actually start purchasing stuff that's not connected to the big five or big six names that occupy many of the big two's companies' books, and perhaps looking outside of Marvel and DC and giving books like The Morning Glories a shot, giving books like Guarding the Globe or Invincible, a shot, and not getting a book that has Wolverine in 5 titles and Batman in a half dozen titles and what have you. Other than that, the only thing one can really add is just hoping that someone on the business end will recognize that if they can marry the idea of doing something new, but know how to go about marketing that newness, which would bring potentially more customers in to check out something that they wouldn't normally check out, then we're going to continue to fall under the spell of basically mediocre sameness until almost every title will be connected to another title. There may not be no more Marvel and DC per se. It may just be the Bat universe and the Wolverine universe after a while. But anyway, I think I've said all I can say on this. I hope that Ed can be a little more clear and concise than I was. But these are my thoughts. This is how I feel, and for anyone who has their own feeling on this topic, hey, I'd love to hear you. Leave them in the comments. Make a video response. Anything. Anyway, until next time. Night out.